Hello everyone, this is my friend Connie, and this is my friend Will.
Hello.
How are you guys today?
So great.
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Do you know what we're talking about?
I actually don't. You just called me over here and
Tell
I'm
us.
very confused.
So, I just recently uploaded my video on my demisexual experience. It was very well received, thank you very much for the lovely comments, but there's some interesting comments I felt like it'd be good to touch upon with people of different voices. Will, what is your sexuality?
So, I am a homosexual male-identifying person, and that's pretty much it. Pretty boring as far as that goes.
And Connie,
Yeah.
any more exciting?
I'm bisexual, but I also call myself pansexual. I just feel comfortable with the word bisexual because it's so ingrained in society. Gender is not a concept to me, and I like everything.
So one of the main points of my video that I started off with was that I'm not proud of my sexuality because I can't control it, such as, like, I'm not proud of my height. And there was a lot of interesting comments saying things like, you should compare it to something else like humor, like if you're funny, you kind of work at it and you're proud that you have that ability. Do you find yourself proud of your sexuality? Or are you more proud of the fact that it's different than everyone else's, which I feel like is what most people are saying.
I'm only bisexual for attention, obviously, like we all know that.
Of course, that's the only reason to be anything.
Yeah, it's the only reason to be bisexual. I'm only doing it for the men.
Do it for the views.
I'm more proud of the world for being so accepting of it.
Okay.
I can see how with something like demisexuality, which is like so new to people as a concept, that people might not just be interested in sex all the time. What? It could make you feel like you couldn't be proud of it.
Yeah.
So it's very much about how the community reacts to you.
There was a really good comment I saw as well that said that because me saying I wasn't proud of it is internalized asexual phobia, like phobia of my own sexuality, and stuff that a lot of gay men go through is that when they first realize they're gay is wishing they weren't gay, wishing they were normal. And I got a couple comments from gay people saying, like, that is how I felt as a kid.
Yeah.
It took a while to embrace myself.
I think when I first figured out I was gay, first of all, I was like, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it. It was like your
there's
height.
A difference,
It's part of me. It's not something I can change.
But you're happy it's that way.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely used to feel the way that I didn't need to be proud of it, but I didn't need to be ashamed of it. But actually, that's changed now.
Oh.
So in the past couple of years or so, I sort of discovered how my sexuality is actually a really politicized thing. So I didn't used to be proud or ashamed of it, because to me, it didn't matter. It was like, that's who I am, who actually cares. But actually, if you look at society, being of a different sexuality, a minority sexuality, it's massively politicized. And I think that's something to be proud of, because you can actually use an aspect of yourself in a political way in a community. So I'll definitely say I am proud of it. But that has changed recently.
You existing in the public eye as a demisexual is like is a political statement.
Yeah, it's a massive political act.
It's really nice that I'm there to give ace people representation, because it's so hard that there's literally like no representation at all, which makes people believe less in it as a thing, and that even though I don't want to be a leader, I'd be an amazing one. That's just really nice to say.
It's really sweet.
That is
really
that
sweet.
is adorable. And simply contributing to the conversation and being like, hey, there are other ace people is really important, because I know a lot of ace friends do feel really excluded from the LGBT plus or LGBTQ, all of that stuff. Do you feel really excluded from it?
There's another one now.
Okay,
Gender and sexual.
GSD.
GSD.
GSD, gender and sexual diversity.
That's a lot easier to say.
That's one I like to use because it doesn't exclude anyone, so it's not saying lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, but gender and sexual diversity, GSD, does encompass so much more, and I tend to use that if people know what it is.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think it's difficult as well when you're like demisexual and asexual. Things like pride are they've become so monopolized by like sexualized content.
Also men.
I imagine.
Also men.
The gay community or the LGBT plus community, it's so male dominated, and especially media and companies trying to appeal to the community will go straight to the male audience, the gay male audience, and I know that's probably really alienating for someone who doesn't identify as male or who isn't homosexual male. Yeah.
What were you saying?
Thinking.
Yeah, I was just saying.
He like dominated the conversation.
Yes, he did. Classic
really funny.
Male.
Things like pride have become like, whether we like it or not, very dominated by like sexual content, and are, like people often like, you think queer and you think sexual.
Like
so
people going around with like giant dildos and penises, and it's like, hey, it's not necessarily me.
You can feel quite isolated if you're queer, but you're not into sex.
Yeah, there's a very loud section of the LGBT like community that are not at all supportive of asexuals belonging at all, which is upsetting because they don't belong to the straight area and they don't also belong to the LGBT, so they're kind of like in their own realm.
I can understand where like the confusion comes from, because you can be a gay asexual.
Yeah,
you can be
gay-sexual.
a bisexual, demisexual,
or gray.
Yeah. And I think when you can start putting a sexuality in front of another sexuality, that's when people are like, well, how does that work?
Yeah. I feel like it's even people that understand what the words mean that just don't want inclusion, which is upsetting to me, because it's like, I feel like for many, many, many years, people have been fighting for approval, and it's now finally happening.
Yeah.
And now they're like, no one else.
But that might link into it. So it's a matter of having a space that they fought for, and it could be historically construed. And they might be sort of afraid or perhaps scared or nervous to.
And I mean, there's the issue of like
it.
The difference between, say, you're like a gay boy and you come out to your Christian family and you say, I'm gay. Or you are a demisexual girl who comes out to your family and says,
your dad's like,
I'm a demisexual
I'm a straight
girl.
demisexual. It is like, I guess it's a different experience in terms of inclusion, but then you see how you feel when you're trying to be in the community, how isolated you feel. So
I don't know many people at all that are on the asexual scale, and it makes me feel more alone, where there's so many
you gotta hang out with our friends.
Yeah.
We have loads of asexual friends.
That's great. I mean, it is, I know I saw a comment of someone saying, like, just because you don't want to have sex doesn't mean you get your own label. And I was like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
That's like saying just because you like having sex with men as a man doesn't mean you're gay. You're just curious. No. But one of the most annoying things that I saw in the comments of my video was this guy speaking about how, asexuality doesn't exist, blah, 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 but then also was saying to a girl that because she's only been dating a guy, even though she claims she's bisexual, she's not actually gay. She doesn't belong in the community.
Pick your argument. Which one is it, my friend?
I don't get it, because I thought most people that would exhibit bi erasure were straight.
His own reasoning and be like, so which one is it? Are you gonna pick?
It just annoys me. I didn't really know that was a thing. I heard bi erasure before, but I didn't know it would have come from within the community.
It can come from within the community.
I thought it just been.
It is problematic.
Yeah.
So if you're a guy that is dating a girl, but you have feelings for both, you're still bi? Doesn't mean that you're gay at the moment or straight at the moment. Like that's the same thing for
it's super annoying.
Asexuals.
I feel like there's a huge thing for me, which is, and I definitely have had anonymous messages from people being like, you're only bisexual to impress men, like you're just trying to.
Why would that be a thing?
Like,
why?
Yeah, I'm attracted to girls.
It's like, I'm attracted to girls to impress men. Only you know how you really are. So someone saying, I don't think you're like that, it's like, well, doesn't matter what you think because I know how I am.
It comes from inside and outside the community, so I really can empathize with how troublesome that is.
I think it really scares people when it's suddenly not all about penis.
Yeah. I think, like I was saying earlier, sort of LGBT plus culture has tended to focus on the gay male identity.
And even for you,
it's been very sexually driven.
I think a fear of asexuality can come from what? Like a guy who isn't just all about his penis?
And it does tend to be all about penis. And that annoys me, and that's something that I hope would change as well. So you do have a very political gender and sexual diversity movement, but then you've got the dichotomy of that and like the sex-driven movement as well. And perhaps there needs to be some uniting.
More GESD spaces that are non-sexual, like bookshops,
guys
cafes,
sucking
libraries.
What is GESD? I didn't know what GCSD is.
GCSD.
How do you feel about the word queer?
I've heard like that it's not accepted in a lot of circles because it was used to demean people, and even though the word's been taken back, some people still are triggered by the word.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't use the word ever.
Would you use it to define yourself ever?
I mean, I definitely think my sexuality is a bit queer, yes, but I
love
embrace
I use
asexuality
queer
more.
to identify myself.
I identify as queer, but I know other people in the
I just know that
community who do not like that word. So
for me,
you have to be careful about it.
Oh, Tinder match. For me,
Popular.
I feel like the word queer has negative connotations. Like growing up as a kid and playing, Halo Online and being like, "You queer."
But yeah, I think it really is such a fluid issue, and there's not like a rule that's like you can use it if you're queer, you can use it if you're not queer, but with queer people, yeah, I don't know.
So how can you tell if asexuality is real?
It's all about what you
Don't
feel.
really care. Yeah.
It's about you. What do you feel?
What do you want to do with yourself?
But I do think at the same time, like when you're young, you don't need to worry too much about
Doesn't
defining
matter.
yourself.
100%, yeah.
Just get on with your life. And
I didn't know I was demi
you'll
till I was
figure
like
it out.
22. So.
Yeah, you'll figure it out when the time is right. You'll figure it out.
I kind of regret sort of trying to solidify my sexuality at
You're
an
like
early
14
age.
years old and you're like, what am I? I'm gay, and now I'm gay
Yeah,
forever.
so I was 14 and I had feelings for guys, so I told everyone I was gay and I essentially became gay. But now coming into my adult life, I kind of regret trying to solidify myself in that box.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like to use queer, because I don't have to say I'm homosexual or I'm gay. I can just say I'm queer.
I'm
Be
And
afraid
also,
of queer.
like, there's a lot of fear in the community of like your sexuality
Queer fear.
changing.
Queer fear.
Queer fear of your sexuality changing. I know there are people who have been adamant lesbians their whole life who then get married to men and have kids, and suddenly there's this huge stigma about it. And we need to start looking at it as something that is fluid. People change, and if sometimes I'll be more into girls, and sometimes I'm more into guys.
Why did you point to me?
More into girls. More into guys. So for you, for example, like one day you could suddenly like.
That's my huge fear, is that one day I'll be like, oh, maybe I'm not demi, or maybe I'm not on the
But the
asexual
thing is, you
scale.
don't have to be
And
scared
that's
of
fine,
that,
yeah.
because you are demisexual now. This is who you are, and this is how you feel
That's a good
comfortable
point.
associating.
Thank you.
You don't have to have any fear of like suddenly becoming this like sexpert.
Yeah. Sexpert. That's the hands I'll
Like
do it.
that's just who you became. People grow. In the words of Mary J. Blige, what can we do but grow? I think we need to end this by saying, if you're struggling with any of these identification issues, I promise you,
Throw 'em out the window.
we all are too. And I like call myself bisexual. He calls himself gay, and we still struggle with these.
Exactly.
identification
And I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
So, but we're all pretty good exploring ourselves,
exactly.
figuring out what we're happy with, and just basically, as long as you're happy with who you are, that's all that matters. Don't let anyone tell you what you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. Please continue the conversation below. Thank you very much. You can check out Connie's channel below.
And also mine.
Or also
Yeah,
Will's,
Will's YouTubing now.
Now, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Crazy.
smallest YouTuber I've ever collabed with.
I know.
And thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah, we did it. Thank you very much for joining me.
That was a great video.
Do we have sex now?